James Doswell is Senior Risk Management Consultant for Cyber at Travellers Europe. He joins me now. James, what were some of the main trends and risks for the cyber market in 2024?
So the insurance market remained very soft. It effectively, from a risk perspective, we saw quite significant continued phishing attacks. So by the end of 2023, 39% of all of our claims coming in had involved phishing in some way. So that was quite a significant figure. Since then, we've actually seen much more in the way of ransomware. Certainly last year was a real significant uptick in vulnerabilities. And finally, we've had a very, very significant uptick in AI, where it's being used maliciously for deepfake. It's being used for generation of malicious images, video, in particular fraudulent purposes, where the videos actually are interactive real-time, where the threat actors are using it to fraudulently impersonate somebody. So we had an example of Hong Kong. There was a broking firm where there was over 200 million Hong Kong dollars paid out by someone who had a conversation who genuinely thought he was talking to his boss.
And how is Travellers supporting clients if and when cyber attacks do occur?
So Travellers have a dedicated claims hotline specifically for cyber insurance. One of the key things with this is that time is of the essence. With ransomware events, they have a countdown ticking away in the background, and it's so important that we can get one of our various panel members, one of the various companies that are specialists in their area, and it enables us to get the appropriate responder in with the insured very, very quickly and able to actually start help mitigating that situation.
You've already touched on how rapidly evolving the cyber landscape is. What are some of the main threats you foresee for 2025?
So, as I've already mentioned about AI, has got significant threats from the deep fakes. But as well as that, one of the things that people don't necessarily realise is that it's able to very, very accurately mimic audio. We've already seen our first claim from that, where a person's voice was impersonated, and it's actually been, we've had insureds that have carried out their own independent testing on it, and it's proven 100% accuracy and 100% fail rate from people actually falling for it, where they genuinely think it's a person that they know they're speaking to. And then on top of that, we've got zero-day attacks, where the attackers are actually using AI to help generate unknown or detect, to go out and actually search for unknown, unrecognized attack vectors, to find vulnerabilities and then actually take those. Possibly it's even the scenario of day one attacks, where they take a genuine security researcher who's gone out, they found a vulnerability in a piece of software or an architecture, they've published it as genuinely as part of their legitimate job, and that has then been picked up by the attacker, and with the benefit of AI, they're actually adapting that and turning it into a genuine exploit that they're able to take away and use against many other companies very, very quickly. In comparison, so for example, it used to take them maybe 1-2 weeks. Now they're able to turn it around in hours.
So how can you help clients get ahead of these emerging threats?
So Travellers have extensive links into security services, and it enables us to get a lot of information very early on. We are able to give back to the insureds insights through risk conversations. We're able to give potentially early warnings for some of the more severe vulnerabilities or exposures that they may have in their own architecture. We're able to actually advise on an early warning basis, even before it hits the main media perhaps, that they may have a severe vulnerability in their architecture.
And are there specific risk services that Travelers customers can access?
There are. We provide a comprehensive amount of information on our website to the various industries that we cover. We have the e-risk hub that people can, or the insureds can actually log into, and that provides a comprehensive suite of information. I guess in particular, there's areas for very specific industries. So, for example, solicitors and law firms. And on top of that, we also provide a free risk consultancy service that I, for example, would sit in on client calls where I'm directly insured facing, and would have a mid-term conversation about their architecture, about what we can actually help them identify when they've got vulnerabilities there. They may, some of the big companies that I've spoken with, multi-billion corporations, and on the flip side, the smaller end as well, maybe 50 million turnover. It doesn't matter. The point is, sometimes as part of that risk conversation, it could be something that I'll talk about and it just crops up, we haven't actually got that. Or sometimes it's feedback about the technology that they're using, alternatives, other ways of looking at things. So it's a fairly open conversation that I hold with the insureds. And it helps benefit both sides, because at the end of the day, we're providing information to the insured to better their environments and architecture, which helps provide us a better risk.
And finally, how do you and your team keep ahead of this constantly evolving risk landscape?
So as a global risk team, we have, Travelers has over 30,000 staff. So as a global risk team, we have integration and connections with various security services. It means that we get plenty of insights, advanced threat knowledge, and it really benefits that we can actually give it those insights and pass information on to insureds.
And tell us a little bit about those insurers, the small, the big, the critical as well.
So looking at our client base, we look at everyone from SME through to global corporate, national critical infrastructure, and it's about improving their risk. Those conversations that we hold really help to improve the company's exposure.
We have to leave it there. James Doswell, thank you.
Thank you.